Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Welcome back, you guys. It's your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey.
I'm crying, but not because I'm sad.
Crying Cat. And this is Crying Cat.
And this is Crying Kat.
She's my friend.
I cry a lot.
Well, guys, we're back for another episode of the Fake Ass Book Club this week, you guys. Through it all, we survived. I feel like we're survivors this week. Woo.
Through the limit.
And through
the wall.
Wall? Is that what he said?
Uh-huh. Through the fire, through the limit, through the wall.
Dang, I did not know that.
Just a chance to be with you. I'd gladly risk it all. Because wall rhymes with all.
Got it. I like it. And it's true. I feel like the words actually go with this week's theme, you guys, because I mean, I've been excited to talk to you about this book. This week we are going to be reviewing Leila Mottley's The Girls Who Grew Big, and I would like to give you guys a synopsis of the book.
That's so generous of you.
Yes, that's what you came here for. Let's be for real. Okay, so here we go. Leila Mottley's The Girls Who Grew Big is a vivid portrayal of teenage motherhood and resilience set in the fictional town of Padua Beach, Florida. The novel follows Simone, Emery, and Adela, three young mothers whom form a tight-knit community to navigate the challenges of girlhood and motherhood in a society that often marginalizes them. Simone, the de facto leader, is a 20-year-old mother of twins who finds herself pregnant again and turns to her friends for support. Emery, a 17-year-old high school student, strives to balance her education with caring for her newborn son. And Adela, a former high school swimmer from Indiana, is sent to live with her grandparents in Padua Beach after an unplanned pregnancy disrupts her future plans. Together, they navigate the complexities of their lives, forming a sisterhood that challenges societal expectations and celebrates their strength and solidarity.
I like that.
So there you have it, guys. That's the content for this week. I'm really excited to get into it. And
Look at us reading books.
I
We've been
know.
so good. We're getting that pizza party. We're gonna earn it.
Oh my God. Yes, we are. So I think before we get into it, we should probably dedicate this episode, friends.
Absolutely.
So let's take a nice cleansing breath here. Hands over your hearts, everybody. As always, we always like to start this episode off with our dedications to our patrons. You guys are the best. Honestly, I always really look forward to sharing the bonus content with you guys, and just want to show our appreciation for the continued support that you guys have shown us. If you're not a patron, pop over to Patreon.com/The Fab Podcast. We have bonus content there for you guys. 2 episodes every month for just $5. Or if you just want to generally support our business, 2 ladies out here trying to promote literacy and self-love and autonomy, definitely please pull up at our Patreon to do so.
We're willing to show feet.
Cat is.
Cat is willing to show feet.
I mean, I'll show mine too. They ain't that bad. They're actually
Show
pretty
some
cute.
toes.
They're pretty cute, yeah.
My left foot is cuter than my right foot.
Wait, let me look at mine real quick. Same. Same. My right one probably works harder. It's a little bit more of a,
you favor one side of your body more than the other.
Anywho, so my official dedication this week is going out to all the teenage moms out there trying to find their family, their support. Shout out to the parents helping support their kids of teenage parents whose parents show support. Shout out to you, because it's not an ideal situation, but also parents in general need support. So shout out to you guys navigating that. What about you, friend?
Yes, and oh my goodness, because it's hard out here. My dedication is going out to Takashi Murakami. I went to go see his exhibit this weekend in Cleveland, Ohio. And it's the best art exhibit I've ever been to.
What?
Like, hands down, not even close.
Are you serious?
Was amazing. I might go again.
Really? I want to go next time.
Yeah, it's over in September 7th. And for one, I had been wanting to go to the Cleveland Museum of Art because it's gorgeous. So also side shout out to them and their staff, and also everyone, the entire staff of Takashi Murakami, because something like that cannot be done by one person. So of course his name's on it, but it takes an entire army of people to make that happen. It's incredible. It was inspirational. Between that and the book, I did a lot of crying.
Okay.
So,
Fifi is out here.
yeah, dedication over.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to make a post because you do.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I feel with so much gratitude this weekend. So
Oh.
I'm so appreciative of you because a big theme of the book was this sort of female, because the unspoken understanding of just the
of what's going on
experience, and then also the motherhood experience once that happens, and
it's intense.
It takes so much. So the fact that you do our social media and the posting. So I'm gonna try to make a post this week of like some of the pictures and stuff.
Please do.
I
I'd like to see
and
them because I haven't
stuff.
seen anything yet.
Yes, I did. I sent you a picture.
The one. It was very, very cute.
Thank
By
you.
the way, yes.
Yeah,
My bad. Yes, you did.
So I'm gonna try to put together a whole thing. But yeah,
Oh,
wowzers.
that would be awesome. Well, I appreciate the gratitude because I do feel like I've been riddled with a little guilt that I haven't been showing up for the podcast like I need, or like I want to in my heart. And I think that this is also a really good segue into just dissecting sort of the themes in this book. So actually, before we do that though, I don't know if you have let's talk about our author really quickly here.
Yes.
I want you to give the people a little snapshot of Leila
Big fan.
Mottley.
Leila Mottley is an American novelist and poet. She is the New York Times best-selling author of Night Crawling, which was nominated for numerous awards, including the Booker Prize, making her the youngest author to have been nominated for the award. She is from Oakland, California, and she was born in Oakland, California, and went to Smith. Fancy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan girl.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
sorry. And
same.
she's also the recipient of a Fab Award.
Yes, she was. My God, because Night Crawling, we were not expecting the content. Like, we didn't know what it was about. But when we got into it, it's a fabulous book, you guys. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes.
And especially for a debut novel.
It was so good.
Because, oh my goodness, a lot of times debut novels, remember Winter
Don't do it. Don't do Wintercrest.
Winterfell.
Wintercrest Hollow, I want to call
think
it.
about it. Because that was a debut novel too. And they don't always go great. But the fact that hers was an award-winning piece of literature, and the fact that she's from the West Coast, but she was able to capture the Southern voice very well.
She did a great job. So it says making her. So she got did you say that she had the Booker Prize? Mm-hmm. So the youngest one. So she wrote the book, I want to say when she was 17, but then it got published when she was 20. I think I read that somewhere.
18 or 16. She was nominated at age 16.
Well, for her poems.
Oh, for her
poems.
So
she did her poems before. So that's what she was known for first.
Okay.
So she did the poetry stuff first. And then she wrote the novel when she was 17, didn't get published till she was 20. So, I mean, this is a lot of accolades for a really young person. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, super crazy. But this book in particular, you guys, if you're reading this, the hardcover is 352 pages. It was first published June 24th of 2025. The audiobook was 11 hours and 50 minutes, which is how I read it. I don't know if you sat and actually read the book. Actually, I do know you did.
I do have one little quibble with this book.
Okay.
It was a little dangerous.
Oh.
I was listening to it on the way to Ohio on Saturday, and was so engrossed in the novel that I ran out of gas.
What?
Did not even notice that I ran out of gas on the highway.
And your car slowed down?
On the Ohio Turnpike, on the highway.
No.
This has never happened to me before. I've never run out of gas before. This was terrifying. I was by myself.
As you should be.
I pulled over. I was like, okay. Because as all of a sudden the car starts slowing down. I'm like, what is going on? Because I had it on cruise control, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, what? And so I look at the fuel gauge, E. I'm like, what? So I had to pull over. I put on my blinkers, start taking deep breaths, and pulled over to the side of the road. So I'm blaming Leila Mottley and not my negligence.
Oh, because I was going to blame your negligence. It's like, why wouldn't you fill up before you left, friend?
I did. I had a full tank. That was the thing.
My
I thought
God.
I didn't.
Okay.
I've never made this trip before.
You didn't do the word problem. If I'm going to Cleveland from Indianapolis with this much gas and I'm doing this many miles per hour.
I was like, okay, it's a 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
I thought I'd have enough. No. So now I know I do have to
Gotta stop
pull
halfway.
over. Yeah, on the way back and stuff like that.
my
But
God.
shout out to the Ohio Highway Patrol.
Oh, they helped you?
Yeah. They got there like super fast, like maybe 20 minutes after I called. And apparently I'm not the only bimbo who's done this. So they had procedures.
They're like,
were super didn't charge me for the gas.
Oh, nice.
So I ended up tipping that out. So thank you for Interstate Towing and the Ohio Highway Patrol. No thanks to AAA, which I do have, could not get a hold of them.
Oh, about to cancel that.
Well, my mom pays for it. I think I'll still keep it. They've been helpful before, but for whatever reason, I kept getting hung up on. I couldn't get a hold of a person. I will be letting them know because I was like, when it counts, they kept saying, "Oh, we'll send you the virtual assistant." I'm out in the middle of the it wouldn't connect. Like the internet wasn't good enough from where I was to use the virtual assistant, and there was no way for me every time. And they were like, "Oh, enter your 16-digit whatever." No, I had it. I had my card and everything. Every time it wouldn't respond. It just kept hanging up on me. So
that's some BS.
So that's my only quibble. So yes, I did listen to the audiobook. Okay. And which was a great experience. Do we have the name of the voice over people?
I did. I had to because it was so good. I remember this from Night Crawling as well, is that I love the voice actors that got selected for this. So I looked it up, and it was actually on Audible because that's where I listened to it at, but narrated by Dream Smith, Aaron Spencer, and Kaya Frades. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
But yeah, all did an excellent job because we know, I kind of mentioned that in the synopsis, that it's a first person narrative, 3 different characters, 3 very different backgrounds, but all have the through line of teenage pregnancy. So we get to go through this journey with each of them, and their stories are individual, but how their lives sort of melt together.
I realized that was one of my favorite forms of storytelling because that was like Win or Lose, where we're watching the one story from multiple perspectives. Forever. Yeah. Same thing. We get to kind of see that. So Game of Thrones
so
too.
Game of Thrones,
the actual novels, like each chapter is a different character. So I like it when things are structured like that.
I do too. So already a fan. So I don't know, where do you want to start, friend? Because I feel like the way that let's just start at the very beginning. Like the very first chapter, we start with our first character who was
I think it's Simone.
Simone, yes.
Yeah, we
Simone,
start with
20
Simone.
years old. Actually, at the time.
Yeah, we start with her at 20. And then we go back to...
No, she's giving birth, right? To her twins. Isn't the first part?
Oh, yeah. With her in the truck giving birth to the twins with her baby daddy.
So Tooth. Okay. And so she's... So let's see, what is
16.
she? 16 at the time, giving birth in the truck because they don't make it to the hospital or whatever. She was like, I don't have insurance anyway. Probably wasn't going to make it anyway. But she ends up giving birth to twins in the car.
Well, I thought she didn't want to go to the hospital.
Maybe.
Because she was saying like the judgment and the questions and all that stuff. And plus, because her boyfriend is 20.
That part, and they're going to be looking at her crazy, which as they should. He's older than that, I thought.
Oh, right. Well, right. He was 25 or 20-something. Because he's 20. Wait, if she's 16, because in the book later she's 20 and he's 27. They got a 7-year age gap. So it's 16 plus 7.
23.
There we go.
So so she gives birth in this truck, and the thing that was crazy to me was that she started it off with the mom biting through the umbilical cord. I thought it was very primal. So like for me, part of me was like, ew, you know.
Well, no, the ew was the daddy wanted to cut it with a dirty knife he had in his pocket.
That too, though. But I feel like, I guess maybe that was just her way of being like, hey, you get thrusted into motherhood and you're doing the dirty shit quick. You're out here getting it how you live. So I mean, that was a little bit like, it just reminded me. So like so she gave us that sensational thing, and that's like very graphic and like, oh my God, like over the top. But she grounds the story. Like, to me, if this was like if Tyler Perry was telling this story, it would have just been like, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it would have just
been hollering.
It would have just, there's never the grounding. Like, I think you can add those sensational things and that make the story like, what the fuck, what? And then also be like, yeah, but I get why you put that in here, because you're gonna ground the story in the character building of these people and what happens.
Yeah,
so I was
what
like,
human
okay,
beings do in real situations. Because what was the one movie where they at the funeral, something in black, Divorce in Black?
Divorce in Black, Jesus.
Okay, so
if you are interested in our reaction to the first few minutes of that, check into our Patreon. I just uploaded that actually for our latest Patreon, and I forgot we did that, and it was hilarious. So yeah.
Yes. So I would agree with you, because her writing style, you feel very present, like the
sensory
senses,
wise,
the feelings. Once again, very much like that's relatable, because if I was in that situation, I'd probably do something similar. Because everyone's very flawed, but it's very understandable, given the fact that, like, if I didn't have the many privileges that I have, how would I move in situations? Because I think what she's very good at, or Arthur is very good at doing, is reframing things that we usually judge and being like, instead of being judgmental, why don't you get a little curious as to what would make a person act like this, instead of act like she crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Like, instead of just being like, why is this woman being crazy? Could it be that this grown man has been having sex with her for years and playing mind games with her? And I hated that the most in the story. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta break down real quick. So Simone was 16 years old when she gets pregnant by this 23-year-old dude, gets kicked out of her house. Her parents completely disown her. She gives birth to twins, and she's raising them by herself in a truck down by the river. Okay? So it's like, or by the lake. And so what are her real options? Like, what is she has to drop out of school. Everyone's looking at her, and once again, there's no repercussions for this grown man. That was, to me, the most frustrating part, where everyone's just like so mad at her. Everyone's cutting her off. And for Tooth, it's just whatever. Yeah. Like, he's a hero.
Nobody's popping up at his house like, how fucking dare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's getting the same vitriol.
Kicking his ass. I feel like my daddy would have kicked somebody's
ass would have get kicked.
Like,
for real.
This grown man, you think about 16. Like how you were at 16, how I was at 16. And there were grown men. I'm sure there were grown men trying to talk. To me, they seemed gross and old. So it was never a temptation for me. I already had an old dude paying attention to me. It was my dad. Right. So I didn't really need it anywhere else. So
I mean, that's real though.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah. So that wasn't appealing to me. So I don't know. Like, that was something that brought up a lot of big feelings in me.
I could see how.
But what she did, she got it out the mud. She's like, okay, I don't have a community. I'm going to build one. So she was like, okay, well, the other girls who are outcasts, we're going to work together. So there was, like I said, Simone, Emery, April.
I forget the other girl.
One started with a C.
Crystal.
Thank you. And then Jamia.
Okay.
And so all of them basically were just living out of her truck for the most part, like having this community of support. And then along comes Adela from Indiana.
Yeah, tell it.
Okay, so Adela is coming down to visit my favorite character, Noni, her grandmother, her black grandmother, because she's mixed. And so her parents got rid of her when she got pregnant. They were like, we are fine, upstanding Christians from Indiana, and we cannot have you besmirching our name with your slutty behavior. So off to Florida you go.
Off to your black granny to clean up the mess.
Yes, and they were like, you're just gonna go there, have that baby, put it up for adoption, and come back. Yeah. So while she's there, she meets the girls who she initially judges.
Pew.
Where she's like, oh, I can never be like that. I never. It's like, they're twerking on top of a truck.
Yeah.
Gross. And so, but then it's like, hey, actually, these are my people.
Yeah. Well, what was crazy too is that, you know, she had this, we were kind of talking about this maybe in the Patreon or before, but just how we think that like sports are going to save our kids or our girls specifically from getting pregnant, from boys being attracted to them. Now, I will say that there is something about keeping your kids busy and involved. I mean, a lot of idle time. Right, you have more, statistically, yeah, you got more time to get into trouble. But also, too, like you pointed out, you have these super fit young women who are, you know, moving around the world, they're going to still get attention. So there's, it's not like a 100% sort of foolproof thing where it's like, yeah, that's going to 100% save them. So,
and it can sometimes make socialization tricky. Because like with her, she was like going to be a world-class swimmer. So she's getting up at dawn.
Olympics.
Like she was so immediately flattered by the slightest bit of male attention because she didn't have time to get it and then just fell for the okie doke. And like I said, like I gave the joke like her parents were calling her slut. She got pregnant from her first sexual experience.
Which is
crazy. Do you know any girls that happened to in high school? I do. I remember that happened. Because you don't think you'll get pregnant the first time. Like it's illogical.
It's like, what are the odds? It's like pretty high, kind of
actually. What? Oh, because she was an athlete and didn't get her period regularly. She didn't think that
anything about it.
And keep in mind, just because you're not getting a period, this is why sex education is important. Like you should know how your reproductive organs work. I think everybody should.
Yeah.
And so just because you're not having a period does not mean you can't get pregnant. Like it just means your uterine lining hasn't shed. There could very much be eggs or an egg or eggs up in there. Chilling. And your body is just a pregnancy trap. Like
it is. Yeah. It is. 100%. But yeah, I think that's a good point to mention that like sometimes when we keep our kids so busy that they don't have the chance to socialize normally and have these experiences, the first dude that comes around looking at you, and not to mention because she was biracial and she lives in Indiana, this is relatable. Not because I'm biracial, but live in Indiana or even just being in predominantly white spaces, you know, there's already this sort of feeling of trying to fit in. And that happens even when you're not biracial. Like if I'm in a space where there's mostly white people and I'm socialized mostly around people who consider themselves white, there's this sort of like, assimilation process that you want to have happen, especially in high school and in junior high.
It's
natural.
It's
just because it's going to happen anyway. But then she talks a lot about how, you know, these people aren't really her friends and how she feels like she has to lie to fit in. Like she was embarrassed to say that her dad was from Florida because he had a super country accent and lied and said he was from France and shit. The south of France.
Bring him around.
Didn't want him coming around. And so like it was interesting to me that like she was already trying to suppress this part of herself, and then she ends up getting sent somewhere where we don't, like when you think about Florida in general, you don't think about the panhandle communities.
Oh, I do. But I think about weird stuff.
You know, when people are talking about Florida, most of the time you're talking about, you know, Miami and Orlando, like the Keys, like just
tourist stuff.
the touristy stuff. And so I thought it was a really intentional choice for her to pick a section of Florida that
ain't even
is
on the map.
Easily looked over, and people, that community, you know, is kind of looked over. And so it's like you're sending her to this place where she already feels invisible and she's trying to find her place, but then you're sending her to a place.
And her dad was one of my least favorite characters for a lot of reasons.
Well.
But one of them being how mad he was when he found out she was lying about him, because what did you expect? Like, you've made no attempt to connect her to her black identity, and you've put her in this white supremacist environment because that is what the majority of Indiana is. And so, you're
upholding it. I mean, like, you've already matriculated into whiteness in your mind because you've now married this white woman, and then you want to pretend like this isn't part. It's one thing to fully embrace who you are and where you are. And that's what you like to see, especially when you see multicultural families. You want to see both families in a position where they can lean into who they are. Yeah. But it's like if you're going out of your way to ill and ick where you come from and be like, yeah, that ain't it. You know, she's internalized that too. So it lends itself to self-hate. And to me, that's the number one way to set your kids up for some fuck shit. If you really want them to be out here in these streets making awful choices,
because we were talking about a young lady who made some very good decisions about. I don't know if we say names out loud for you. I'll believe it after too. Cachet. About how if you support a good sense of self-esteem and you know, a value in yourself, you don't fall for the okie doke, because you'll be like, this isn't worthy of me. Like, you're going to choose what's worthy of me. As persnickety as my daughter is, and as much as it gets on my nerves, it comforts me because she's gonna be like, ew,
I don't want that. And that's what you want for your daughters. And you also want them to love themselves fully, though. So, we kind of see that play out in her story, too. So, who's the other one? Let's get into the other one. Who's Emery?
Yeah, we talked about Emery. Emery was... Oh, I was going to say one more thing about Adela, and that was the mom. Because she mentioned that her mom stopped going out with her because they got tired of the questions, is she adopted? And the fact that she described her mom as a blonde beauty. And I think... I sometimes wonder what it would have been like to not look like my mom. Because I look so much like my mom.
Yeah, you do.
And I take a lot of comfort in that. Because as growing up, I'm like, oh, I want to look like her. Man, this chick's awesome. I want to,
I want to be her.
It was just perfectly natural. And there's nothing wrong with not looking like your mom. I'm just wondering what it would be like psychologically to be so, especially to be perceived so different. Because I'm sure she looked like her mom in certain ways. It's just that. And I sometimes wonder, too, if her mom, because I've observed this, too, if she wasn't aware of the amount of privilege she was going to lose by marrying a black man and having a mixed child.
Ooh.
Like, you're not getting full white privilege anymore. Like, you're still getting some, but not the full amount.
You're not getting the deluxe package.
No.
You got the economy
And,
boy.
like, is there maybe some resentment there? Because
I'm
she never had any
sure.
more children.
I'm sure. And then, too, especially if they are black presenting, you know what I'm saying? Like if they have that textured hair or that nose or that, you know what I mean? Right? She had this giant afro, it sounded like. But yeah, I think that does take some of them for a loop. Like if you're not in a relationship and you're not fully accepting all of the possibilities of how your kids might look, I always say that, it's not a joke, but in my mind, I'm always wishing biracial couples the most black presenting kids they could ever have. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying love it all then is what I'm saying, because we all, even black people internalize anti-blackness.
Yeah.
There's
that's
so
why
much
I think it's funny
self-hate.
because I do that too, but mostly because just in case the black person who chose a white partner was trying to dilute themselves and it didn't work.
No, babe. Deal with it, because that's you right there.
Dominant traits.
Yeah, and there's nothing, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. You shouldn't be just.
You should love yourself.
You should love yourself. So
whatever,
good
however
points,
you express
friends.
that, because it is not. It's one of the things I loved about this weekend. So many different types of people, because it's
nice.
Awesome.
It's definitely
we
nice.
shouldn't all be the same. That'd be
No,
so
we
boring. But
shouldn't.
I'm sorry. Moving on to Emery.
Okay.
It just made me think of that because Emery is our white protagonist, and she has a baby with a black man, and she expressed her disappointment that the baby looked more like the father. Like it wasn't light skinned. It was brown.
Yeah, when I was going back to school and I was taking my prereqs, I noticed that I had a class with somebody. We had a lot of parallel classes. She was going into nursing. I was going into medical imaging. And we started to partner up to study and stuff like that. And she had 2 white kids, 2 biracial kids.
Okay.
So her older kids were white, but then her 2 younger kids were mixed.
Okay.
And one time we were talking and stuff, and she kind of did express to me like it was strange for her to give birth to kids who didn't exactly look like her. She was like, and not like even in a bad way, because I love my kids. She was like, but it is like you just expect to see a replica of yourself. And then I'm thinking, but how when you hunch on a black guy and they have dominant traits? Like, I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking there's a 25% chance tops that your kid's gonna look more like you than not. You know what I'm saying? So, but and I didn't take any offense to that or anything, because I'm just like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense that people expect to see themselves in their kids. It's the same as being, my kids don't look just like me. They do kind of now, they're getting older, but like, like you said, you gave birth to your mom gave birth to you, you look just like your mom. There's always people that have that, where it's like, yeah, they look just like you. And then you have people who have kids and it's like all their kids look different. They don't look just like them. You're like, I don't even know where this kid came from. I don't think my kids are that, but they're a nice mix of both me and my husband. So and I don't know. I think that that's a normal thing, but I'm glad that she gave a voice to that, because I feel like that's something that's very unspoken.
It's very
and
honest.
taboo.
That's one reason why I really like the novel, because as human beings, we don't have politically correct thoughts. A lot of times it's a lot of bullshit.
Yep.
But Emery is a very smart girl. When we meet her, she is about to be a senior in high school, but her junior year, she stopped taking her pills so she could have a baby. She's being raised by her grandparents. Her mama just...
Drug addict.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so she's being raised by the grandparents, and she got pregnant on purpose. She thought that bringing a baby in the house would bring some life and joy. It did not. Her grandparents, she kept saying they're not racist. They're super racist.
Well, that was also very honest as well. She loved them. And it was very clear that blinds you, because you're like, no, they're great people. And it's like,
They still
in
let
some
black people in
aspects,
the
yeah,
house.
exactly. That's all.
It's like, whenever people talk like that, I'm like, what do you think racism is?
Yeah, it's that.
When you're like, when they're like, well, they're not racist. They just think black people are worse.
Right. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're talking about.
Cool.
Yeah.
But once again, she's a young girl. Her,
17.
you know, like these were the only parents she's ever known, her grandparents. And so they end up putting her out because they were not thrilled that she had a black baby daddy and then a black child. Like I said, they wouldn't even let him in the house.
Yeah. And then wouldn't help. Like, you know, it was one of those, like the whole scene where she was like, I'm having trouble breastfeeding my baby. You know, she just was like, I just need some help with this. Maybe this would, you know, because they were complaining about the baby crying and we just want quiet in the house. Because, you know, old people, they don't be geeing for a bunch of noise and stuff in the house. You know what I mean?
I don't like a lot of noise.
And so,
but if my daughter or my granddaughter had a baby.
But what if she had an N-word baby?
She'd have to. I'm an
Those are
N-word.
the worst kind, though.
Like there's just no compassion. I hated them.
It was so sad.
Actually, all the parents of the girls in this story,
Pretty awful.
Like, once again, I get it. You're disappointed.
Failing.
You feel like they messed up, whatever. Actually, you messed up. Like if your kids messed up, you know what I mean? Like ultimately, like these are still children.
I think that's part of it, though, right? Like I think that's part of it.
Own your mistakes. Like you.
No, I won't.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
I'm a perfect parent. I've sacrificed everything for you.
Perfect. I waited until my wedding day before I busted it open.
Lies.
Why can't she? Exactly. It made me so many times I was thinking of the Al Franken book. I think it was Lies and the Lying Liars, where he was trying to as a joke, he sent like a letter to a bunch of Republicans, like, say, hey, I'm writing this new book and it's called Saving It. And it's about, you know, different people's abstinence journey. So, you know, since you're, you know, pushing this
please
abstinence
share your abstinence journey.
sex education, I wanted to hear your story about how you saved it to your wedding night and how, you know, that helped you. No one got back with him.
Probably because that story doesn't exist.
I mean, it probably does, but it's very rare.
It wasn't not for them.
No,
we knew that. The ones pushing
human
it.
beings are going to have sexual experiences before they get married, if they ever get married.
Yeah.
But once again, growing up, because to me, I felt like the major antagonist of this novel was purity culture.
Ooh.
Yes. And so,
100%.
and I was also having the big thoughts that purity culture and white supremacy like go together like peanut butter and jelly, because in the sort of fallacious idea of white supremacy, blackness is a pollutant that messes with your white purity.
Exactly.
So it's like we have to keep our genes pure, and also we have to make sure that the females aren't messing up our genetic plan. And so if the girls are just selecting who
they want,
just with any kind of because they desire them, like that messes up the entire, like it does. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I really hate this idea of like we should. Oh, because you know the other thing it made me think of?
No.
Katera of Punishment Island.
Oh,
and the idea that for people who don't know, this was an episode we did a couple years back.
Did.
About the Netflix series African Folklore Reimagined. And one of the first stories was, they're like short films. They're amazing. Go watch them now. Or finish this episode and then go watch them. And then it was this idea of sort of in post-colonial Africa, but even before the colonization, there was this idea of a punishment island where you send girls who got pregnant before they were married.
Break. So whack.
Yes, and you're just expected to go there and die. And so there was a mother and son group who would go rescue girls from Punishment Island and help them give birth. And then they had like a little community where the girls could go and raise their children. Very similar to what Simone set up.
I didn't even think about that. But it is very good parallels.
I had a lot
of
time to think on the road.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that definitely does. And I think, not Adela, but who were we just talking? Emery. Another thing about her story too was the fact that she was queer, and so she
in denial
and in denial about it, because although she she gets pregnant by this guy who she just kind of
had a crush on.
But it was just very casual and stuff like that.
He was in love,
but he was he was
And
really
it was Simone's
into
brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was Simone's brother, and he really wanted to be a dad. So he's very involved and wanted to be involved.
I was very grateful for his presence so
I was
that we
too.
had a positive
Thank you.
Black father
I
in the
appreciated
story
that.
because that is they're out there. So when we show like a lot, because there are a lot of bad black fathers too. But
then I thought to myself, and I know this is, I mean,
well, not just black, because the daddy, the pawpaw character, he was white and he was terrible. So yeah, there were examples of good and bad parenting.
I just liked that it was, so he really wanted to be a dad and he was showing up, but I hated that I felt like he wasted it on her. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm just saying the
it's
baby
not
deserves
ever
it.
wasted, even if it's not. I mean,
In the sense of just, you know, like the narrative is that I just want to see it. I know this is.
it's gonna sound bad. Once again, we've established our emotions aren't politically correct.
They're not. But it's like, why couldn't it have been for a black woman? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there
Like,
was a bunch of them.
There was, you
There's a
know,
lot of them.
I mean,
But sometimes
I'm just
you don't
saying.
get a choice in the matter.
I know. And again, it's not that
Because
simple.
he pointed
It's
out
not that simple.
Because when he was confronted with that in the book, he was like, "I love her for the same reason you love your baby daddy."
Period.
It's like
I can't
you
explain it. I love who I love.
Not like
Fine.
you can't
I'm
control.
wrong.
You're not wrong for your feelings. It's just you can't. And these are pretend people.
They are.
So
They are. It's not real.
So, but of course, it's reflecting a real life situation. He just loved this girl.
He did. And regardless, I loved the love that he gave her. I loved the love that he showed to his child. Like that was a refreshing part. So it just made it sad that it wasn't reciprocated, but partly because she was queer. She hadn't really
moved into that
acceptance of it.
Because here's the thing. Because she said when she first saw Adela, she was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be my best friend." Like she was just immediately struck by this girl, and I was just like,
Why?
Okay.
Yeah,
At first, I was feeling bad because I'm like, I don't feel this way about my best friend.
Well, and let's talk about Layla's writing as well, just
Okay.
for this part in particular too, because to me, maybe because her background is poetry. That was her.
It's very poetic.
She was waxing poetic so hard. Like this whole section, I was just like, what the fuck?
Because I was starting to feel bad because
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
I
this
love my
is
best friend, but I'm never like
kinda-
just the sight of her back.
What? I was like, and it didn't even hit me at first. It took a minute past that for me to be like, oh, she was like feelings, because it had to be at first.
Early.
I said, what?
I was about to say she's this because I
She's
had
into
been
her.
like, this isn't.
This ain't regular.
No,
this ain't
no,
regular.
no. But of course, she's.
I mean, I
also
love your
someone who's
back and everything.
I mean, it's
But-
fine. I don't be swimming like that, but it was just the way she was just talking about like I
was
just
like-
had to be right. I was like, okay, she's in love.
Yeah,
with
it was
girl.
right. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
like and it's once again like if only she could feel that way for her baby daddy. 'Cause
I know.
obviously that's how he feels about her. Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
your presence.
It's always like that though. It's crazy how sometimes like the person that you're like crazy about, it's not reciprocated, and then it's like this circle of like, nope.
Yeah,
Nope,
like
ain't
why can't I
happening for
feel this way
you.
about the person who wants to
Who
give
wants
me
to
the
get-
world?
Isn't
but
that the
sometimes it does
conundrum?
work though. Like I have to
Sometimes.
remember, like that's the magic of
When it
like why we
happens.
celebrate weddings. It's like, oh, finally two yahoos actually
Yeah.
love each other at the same time.
time.
So that's something we're celebrating.
So is. It so is, friend.
Yeah. So Emery,
Oh, man.
okay, so out of all the three girls, who did you like? Like, who did you relate to the most?
I feel like
who are you
relate to. Of
or maybe
course,
who was your favorite?
I think Simone. I think she's
Yeah.
easily the most likable one, but I think it's because of her position in the story. Like she's 4 years removed from becoming a mom. So she has a little bit more insight than I think some of these other girls. So I think it's not as fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, they're in the midst.
Yeah.
You know, I think the first section of motherhood is so crazy. It's so out of body.
You don't have your brain anymore. Like I
It's
do
a lot.
remember, like I felt like it was maybe a year after I stopped breastfeeding that I feel like I got back to myself.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Because your brain does change. I mean, it should change. Like you should be. And once again, because the very first line of the story is like they don't tell you about the placenta.
Oh, they sure don't.
And once again, why can't we have this education? It's so much better to know going into it. And also not just the physical stuff, but just emotionally and psychologically
Yeah.
what you're going to go through if you do this act with another person. Because like she said, she was in this psychosexual relationship with this grown man that was very difficult to untangle yourself from.
Yeah.
And so,
and 4 years in, and after you've given birth to twins and stuff, and you contextualize being a mom and a parent, you're looking like, this is, she was trying to distance herself from him. She was at a point where she was trying, it was like,
and
this
a lot
is
of it
gross.
is from wanting better for
your
kids.
children. Mm-hmm.
And I could deeply relate to that, having been a very young mom and not knowing what I gotten myself into, not really, but also having it make me like, I have to do better because he deserves better.
That part.
And so it's like, okay, so I can't be eating Taco Bell every, day for lunch because I'm going to feed my baby Taco Bell?
Right.
That's because he's eating what I'm eating. So it made me take care of myself better because I wanted to take care of him. Yeah. And then it was kind of sad to realize it's like, oh, I'm not loving myself by trying to be in a relationship with this person. Yeah. And I want them to observe a good relationship so they get into good relationships, and also observe leaving bad relationships. Like that is an important thing for them to see.
Yeah. And then too, I felt like I couldn't be, to that point of Simone being like in a position of like, okay, I'm 4 years in, I have this insight that these other girls don't have, so she can take this leadership role. I think, I'm talking about my struggle as becoming a mom, as somebody who waited to have kids to the exact moment that they wanted to, with a partner who I've loved and known for forever, whose families both were supportive, who came in to help. My mom was straight posted at my house for weeks, after I gave birth for both of my kids, helping cook
she
meals.
Was a little excited.
Oh my God. And it was still hard. You know what I mean? And so like when you're thinking about children, when we're talking about a 16-year-old, when we're talking about a 17-year-old, kids, whether their trajectory was to be Olympic athletes, or if they didn't know what the hell they wanted to do, and their kids gave them direction, which I think maybe Simone's character kind of was the latter. Yeah, I can't be judgmental because these girls didn't have support. Like their family effectively dropped them as soon as they had this information. And it was like, this is the defining moment. I can't imagine loving my kids the way that I love my kids. And then when they have this life experience, just abandoning them because it makes me look bad. You know what I mean? I think it really comes down to that.
And that was the thing to me. Nothing makes
disgusting.
You look worse than
abandoning your kids,
than not parenting your child through this.
Yeah,
because even though they're having a child, they're still a child.
They're still
like
a child.
You don't get to stop parenting now because
it's like, well, you're grown.
Well, you messed up,
this
so I don't have to
now.
do it anymore.
And that's a vibe though. That is definitely a thing that happens. And I also Della's story made me think about how many. So like now we don't really hear about that happening. I'm sure it still does happen, but I know back in the day, like there would always be these stories, and I'm not saying this is exclusive to Black families, but it's like, okay, where is Cece at? Oh, she went down south. And that was just code for like, oh, she got pregnant. She's going to have the baby and come back. She'll be back next year type stuff. And then like fully coming back, and then like the baby getting raised by another family member who never knows that that's your actual mom. And you think it's your auntie or your cousin. And then come to find out when you're 32, this bitch was your mom the whole time. And it's like, it's so much trauma when we try to run from our lives and
the reality,
from our reality,
of it,
yeah.
Of what the front fest.
The front fest.
We
of it
go
all.
to church every Sunday, and we're good people, and we do not abide this type of behavior. It's like, get
weird.
out of here, man! Like,
it's
so
so
dumb. Wait, did you see that one CEO who just got caught up cheating on his wife?
Oh, on the
Jumbotron. Oh man,
it was like, ooh, either they're cheating or something. Oh my God!
Good. But you're right. Like, and really a lot of the like framework of traditional marriage is built around establishing paternity.
Yeah.
And so before we had DNA tests, which we have now, so it's like we could do stuff a little different if we wanted to. But speaking of, because I think it's such an evolutionary, and yes, evolution is real. I don't know why that's still because really, seriously, in Florida, that's still not taught. Like, if we were talking about horrible decisions, no holds barred last week, you can hear Mandy talk. She still don't believe in evolution because they don't teach. And once again, even the school I went to here in Indiana would not teach evolution. I didn't get to learn evolution until I got to high school, which is a shame because my parents paid a lot of money for me to go to school.
Oh, wow.
But it's this deeply ingrained sort of anxiety a lot of times around. It's like, well, whose baby is that? Because it's like, you girls, because Adela, once she started hanging out with Simone's baby daddy, she called herself on the left. She didn't know it was her, Simone's baby daddy initially.
Scandalous.
But she's like, oh my God, he loves me. Like, I'm just gonna tell him this is his baby. And
that shit right there, I said, oh shit.
Adela.
Lord.
Because, she was like, okay, well, she, got in her head when she started, dating Tooth or Chris, as she called him.
Yeah.
Like,
well, she was, for one, she didn't know how old he was, but she was drawn to him because he had a relationship with the water like she did. He was a surfer guy, he
he's
seemed,
a charming southern,
absolutely.
Southern gentleman.
He ain't got nothing to do. He ain't raising his kids or nothing, Jesus. All
he had so much time to give her attention.
So nice.
And I'm just assuming the D was good. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
probably.
They didn't get into it too much, but I'm assuming,
well, he's like 27 or something, 20. It doesn't, but I'm just saying comparatively, like if you're 16 or 17 having sex with a 16-year-old, it's going to be a lot different.
And she only
probably
had one other sexual experience with a drunk high school guy.
Yes.
Who wouldn't claim her.
Yeah.
So that was, kind of cold.
Was that?
But like to me, that was I'm glad she threw that in the mix because that is something that happens, which is why I think DNA testing should just be a part of getting a birth certificate.
It should.
Like,
Why even
I would
leaving
vote
question
for that.
mark?
While we're trying to legislate everything.
Why not that?
Why not that? Because that would solve a lot of actual problems instead of being like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't have this particular procedure until, Mitch McConnell says that,
oh my gosh.
you can have
he's 1 foot in the grave. Like, why should he be somebody?
Because the politicalization of abortion is a recent phenomenon. People should know that. Like, people always want to link it to religion. Religion is thousands of years old. This abortion topic is basically it started once they started being good at them. You know what I mean? Like,
and it was effective,
pretty much.
and
Like
safe.
this wasn't always an issue. It became a political issue when they realized it got people to the polls.
Right.
And it's really upsetting that healthcare is being doled out by people who haven't even been given a sufficient education about how the body works.
What even it is.
What
or,
even goes
or,
on.
Yeah,
but
sure.
to me, it was interesting she brought that up. I want to tell you one of my favorite scenes in the book.
Let's go back to abortion too, because I do want to talk about
no,
that.
we can still talk about it.
Okay. But I love that she brings this up too, because so let's talk about it. In the book, there is an abortion that happens, and
not at a clinic though.
So the access part, right? Like, I like that she really, so not only is it like, okay, well, where is the abortion clinic? Because now we know with legislation that the way that it is, it might not be in your state and you might have to travel. But then it's like, not only that, in order to get this abortion, you have to be there for 24 hours. And
48.
You have to be there for 2 appointments.
Yeah.
So it's 48 hours. So you come in one day, wait 24 hours,
so you
come back the next day. It's like, if you're working, you're a single parent, you don't have support, you don't have finances, even if you do.
Yeah.
The barriers that they're putting up to just get basic health care is absolutely crazy. And I feel like she did a really, really good job of illustrating the complexity of navigating that space where it's like there's so many different things at stake. So not only is it the financial part, but it's the time part. And then also, when you don't have access to any of those things, what are your options? Because
the Crisis Pregnancy Center.
I've seen a lot of, and yes, don't definitely say that part. But also too, like like you say, abortion isn't something new. Indigenous cultures have had access to plant medicine for the longest time. I remember, and this wasn't even anything, I don't even think the documentary was about this, but it was some indigenous tribe, and there was a lady who had already, 5 kids or something. And her husband realized that he was pregnant. They were pregnant. I'm talking about, they weren't barely wearing clothes or anything. And they knew the plants to go to. She was gonna brew up some tea, and she was talking about how our resources are stretched right now. My husband and I really we just cannot do this. We don't have the resources. So she did a herbal abortion and took care of it. And I was thinking about the fact that the knowledge of that right now is something that gets passed down through nonis and stuff like that. They get passed down, like that plant medicine, those kinds of things, and why
because she
our
Noni, are
storytelling.
you a witch? And Noni was like, hey, hold up. Like,
I might be. No.
but
Okay.
that's the thing. Like, the whole point about witches is that they're knowledgeable.
And they don't want you having access to that intuitive knowledge that gets passed down. We tend to look at it through the lens of our system, which is divorced from that kind of stuff. So I love that she put that in there, because I'm just like, not only does the black granny usually end up being the one, I felt like that was symbolic too, because a lot of the time when society throws you in the trash, who's gonna pick you up? Old black lady probably, and she's gonna still show you love, even if you're looking down at her, kind of, you know what I'm saying? And you want that embrace because nobody else is giving it to you. So her character, like you said, was one of my favorite too, because it was so symbolic of, I think, what happens in our culture, but also too just that passing down of knowledge, of just what we already know when we don't have options. So I like that they showed that.
And ridding Adela of the assumption that just because we're poor and Southern and black, we don't know anything.
Boom.
Like this idea of, you know, because when she came up,
can
she
be
was turning
nothing
her
good.
nose up
Yeah.
at so much stuff that, I enjoyed that.
I did too.
The fact that she was just kind of like, Adela can be like, oh, like,
Yeah.
I'm not better than these people.
Absolutely not.
Whereas, you know, there's sometimes this impulse to feel that way.
To look down on it.
Yeah.
Well, and she had been socialized to feel like that.
Yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? And she had been socialized to be kind of a liar and to live a lie. So to me, it's like, you can't be surprised that she thought, well, I mean, he doesn't know I'm pregnant. I'm not showing. We hunched. And he seems
He's
excited.
already a father.
And he's already a dad.
So,
I mean, you know, so, I mean, but again, that's some teenage logic, you know.
She's
And even
a
grown women be
child.
doing
I
that
had
too.
to keep
But
exactly. But I had to remind myself when I would
kids.
get frustrated, I'm like, this is a child.
whose brain is scrambled with hormones.
Yes.
Who just got kicked out of her house, who's in a new place, who's trying to find herself. So
and once again, as a woman myself, male like romantic attention is intoxicating.
It definitely
like
is.
I'm not as sensitive to it as I used to be. Like it's like any drug, you build up a resistance.
Oh, yeah.
But like when you get your first hit, whoa.
Yeah, it is, especially when you're that age. It's
Yes,
like, oh.
there's not, you can't get it anywhere else. It's literally intoxicating. So
Yes.
that was interesting. Okay, going back to the crisis pregnancy centers. Now this is something I was up on, but like I said, if you don't have access, you don't know. So Simone talks about her experience when she first finds out she's pregnant with the twins, and she goes to a crisis pregnancy center thinking that it's a Planned Parenthood. They do that on purpose. They set up
right next to him.
not right next to them, have bigger signs. They have more resources. Like and then of course it's just these it's staffed by people who think they're doing something good. So I try to keep that in mind before I get too angry about how messed up it is. But they intentionally give bad information to young women so that they don't have an abortion. And so she was going there seeking help, and they just didn't really do that.
No, they basically shamed her into, because she was asking about the procedure, and she was like, "You don't need
You're
a
gonna
procedure.
go to hell.
You're gonna go
You
to
and
hell."
your baby.
Yeah.
I was like,
"Do you
wait a
want
minute, that was a new one.
Yeah.
I wasn't even taught that, and I had some pretty hardcore stuff growing up. And if anything
Can
else,
you imagine?
yeah, like it was this idea of being told that, and you know, she ended up just walking away, but she didn't really get the help or resources she needed. And I'm not saying she should have had an abortion, but you as a human being deserve basically the full spectrum of gynecological care.
Yeah.
So like having politicians say you can have this slice of healthcare because of my religious beliefs,
Is
that
wild.
makes no sense.
It's wild.
And I hate that.
Well,
But-
motherhood is already hard, and it's already isolating, and it already lends itself to support. So like the part that I really liked was the communal aspect of Simone creating something that she didn't even have demonstrated to her in any kind of way. So whether we're talking about the love that she deserved from her parents in her time of need, you know, you see her showing up for her kids, or trying to show up for her kids as much as she can. And not only her children, but these other young women, because as somebody who experienced it, she could very easily be like, nah, y'all figure it out. You know, I had to figure it out, because
Get it
sometimes
out
you
the
get
mud.
people like
It's
that.
like you've made your decision.
Yeah, and I did too. So you want to get where I'm at, but
But
she
my
never.
whole thing is like, did you really make a decision? Like, I liked Well, did we ever watch Little Fires Everywhere? Did you ever watch that?
No, but I
With
feel like
Kerry
we've talked
Washington?
about it.
There was a really great scene where Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon are getting into it, and Reese Witherspoon was like, "You should have made better decisions," and she was like, "Chick, you didn't make good decisions. You had good decisions." She was like, "I don't. Why do you think everybody has the same decisions? But that's how privilege works. You don't know how you have it."
Yes, amen to that.
But can we take a break and then
Of
I come back
course.
and tell you my favorite part?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. All right, be right back. All right, friends, we're back from our break.
So much to say.
Oh my gosh.
She's an inspiration because I would like to be good at anything that, like, I'd like to be as good at anything as Leila Mottley is at writing.
Oh, wow.
Because her use of imagery and foreshadowing, even with Emery trying to save that orca, and it was half white and half black, and that's kind of like Adela. The three yolks that Adela throws down the sink when she's making that omelet, just kind of representing a lot of the stuff that, you know, she has to let go. It's just amazing. But my favorite part of the book,
What was your favorite?
I think that just got me really hype, one of my favorites anyway, was when Simone, I don't know why I keep wanting to call her Stella. I have to actually concentrate on calling her Simone. I don't know why it's weird.
Okay.
But when she's at McDonald's with her baby daddy, Tooth, and he's trying to give her the news, like he's like, "Oh, well, I have something I wanted to talk to you about," and she gets excited because she's like, "Oh my God, he's finally gonna step up." No, he's like, I got a house with 3 other dudes, and so I was hoping maybe a couple days out the week. I mean, not when football's on or anything, but you know, maybe the kids can come over and stay with me. And she's like, because in her mind, she's thinking he's gonna tell her like, "Hey, I finally got us a place to stay where we can be a family."
So you don't have to be in the truck.
Right. Because the kind of men I grew up around wouldn't let their kids be homeless.
It's not funny. Sorry. No. They wouldn't. I'm sorry.
But I mean, just the fact that he was so comfortable with that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there wouldn't be any amount of comfort until there was a roof over your children's head.
Yeah.
And their mother. Because any adult would understand that your child isn't going to be okay unless their mother is okay.
Right. That part.
Whatever. So anyway, they're at McDonald's having this conversation, and he's eating her fries while they're having this conversation. And then once it's over, she picks up the fries and takes them with her. And in that moment, I knew she was going to be all right. Like and that is what ends up happening. Spoilers. But Simone ends up realizing there's no future with this man. I need to take my children and raise them in a way that they deserve.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what that scene was symbolizing or foreshadowing.
For her. Yeah.
And stuff like that. But I need to drag Tooth real quick.
Please do. Because I'm sick of his
once
ass.
again, it was him and Adela's daddy, 2 of my least favorite characters. Because man, have I met these people in real life. And
not impressed.
And just so irritated with the amount of stigma that is given to these young girls, and none of it for these grown men abusing them. Because that's what it is. When a 27-year-old sleeps with a girl that's still in high school, that is abuse.
But she wanted it though, and she old enough to know if she want to have sex. So,
well said. Still,
what do you say to that?
What do I say to that? You were gross.
But she said it was cool though. She knew what she was doing.
She didn't though.
But she knew what she was doing.
It's like,
and she had titties.
She did have titties.
How am I supposed to? If she has titties, what am I now supposed to do, Kat?
Be an adult.
No.
Like, he was a perpetual child, and to me, it's the gross. Idea that our society
allows for that.
I feel like Kid Fury that we don't condone murdering these people is strange to me. And so I guess it's the fact that because she's been through puberty, that means he's not technically a pedophile.
Well, it's her fault. Yeah. I think that is it. Because there's a different name, right? Like when you're a pedophile, you don't want developed kids. You want the ones with titties.
So, and that was the thing too, like kind of with R. Kelly and stuff like that. You like this little sort of
in-between
14 to 17-year-old gap where yes, you've been through puberty, you are sexual now, like your body is,
and you're curious.
Once again,
maybe
what
of
a terrible system that your body can go through the reproductive process so early, but your brain isn't done until 25.
Right, it doesn't. That
is not the best. But
don't love that.
Yeah, I think that I got it all out.
Okay. Well, and then you know what? To your point, friend, I did. I thought about that too because I felt like while the girls were growing big, probably literally, but also sort of metaphorically, learning how to be moms to themselves and to each other and to their kids, the men seemed to grow small. I mean, their presence, they weren't really there. I mean, other than Jaden, he could only be there as much as Emery would allow him to be, but it was like the role that they played in the narrative around getting these girls pregnant was so small, and it was so and it was just like really, really sad.
Who knocked up Adela. Dang.
Yes, he
no
was,
consequences. His life's great.
Oh yeah, and he's just out here living his best life. And then I was thinking like, damn, this is crazy because that's the part that you don't. There's not all these where's all the charts and stuff about this? So I thought, what are the statistics on?
I'm sorry, Moni, what are the statistics on teenage pregnancy?
According to, let's see, so one of these is, so I have half of births to 15 to 17-year-old mothers are fathered by adult men age 20 plus. So this is a study by Alan Guttmacher Institute. It found that approximately 50% of babies born to mothers of age 15 to 17 were fathered by men age 20. And in California, or older plus, right, 20 plus. In California, specifically adult males 20 or older accounted for 2/3 of births to school-aged mothers aged 10 to 19. Now, this is in the 1900s. And I know that statistically, teenage mothers have, it's gone down statistically in the last decade or so. For younger girls, but the girls that she's talking about in these stories, when you talk about marginalized groups, people of color, they still have the largest number of teenage pregnancies and the least amount of support. Another one, it says between 43 to 50% of pregnancies to teenagers involve male partners who were at least 3 years older. And then it says approximately 20% of those fathers were 6 or more years older than their partners, especially among the youngest teens, 15 to 17. I mean, it's just disgusting.
And a new stat I just learned about too was that you're also at a higher risk of being murdered when you're pregnant.
Oh, wow. And I mean, honestly, that tracks.
Yeah.
Because now you're in the way.
One of the things I predicted in the book was that, what's his name? Tooth was going to murder Adela.
Oh, damn.
I thought that didn't happen, but that was one of the things that I thought might happen when he found out the baby wasn't his or something.
Right.
Or when he found out she was pregnant, because once again, you had a 16-year-old. Was she 16 or 17?
She was 16, I believe.
Okay. You're 20, you're tap dancing on 30 and you got a 16-year-old pregnant. I thought he was going to be scared when he found out she was pregnant and was going to try to kill her to hide his crime, because that's what happens a lot too. And so, no, he was thrilled because, once again, not because he wanted a child, because he wasn't parenting at the time. Because people kept trying to say, it's like, well, he's a good father. No, he's not.
No.
He was not. Just because he's present and his kids know who he is
doesn't make you good.
If he was doing, if
she
Simone was doing what
just having them made her a shitty mom.
Yeah.
Just birthing her kids, just trying to survive. She's the fucking worst.
I hate that narrative so bad.
It's bad. It is really, really bad.
You're not better than someone just because they had a child young.
No, definitely not.
Know that. This isn't a worse human being because they were abused by a pederast.
And also, too, and historically speaking, there was a lot of benefits to women for having kids young for a really long time.
Yes.
I mean, especially when you think about the context. Yeah, the context of just survival. What else could you do? Nobody was like, go to school and become a, it's like the only value you have is a man. The only way
birth control.
The only way you can be important is being somebody's wife or mother to some child or something like that. So
they were like,
it's
you don't need
ridiculous.
Yeah, just the modern invention of reliable birth control has been, I mean, that made my life way better.
And probably kind of speaks to why the numbers are down. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, I don't necessarily feel like that's like, wow, society is doing better now because, you know, I mean, I guess in a way it is, because if it's because people know about contraception and options that they have, that's great. But at the same time, you know, like you say, you're not innately a better parent just because you're older. You know what I mean? Like, I think there are some benefits, stability, you know, like if you're just resources wise, and also too just developmentally, right? But at the same time,
we're a rich society. We could provide resources
for everybody.
Period. Like the
that's
idea
the point.
of like they're undeserving. Like
Right.
that's what I didn't like about this. Well, it's just our society. But in the book, they lay out about how there's this idea that there's the deserving and undeserving.
Yeah.
And I hate that so bad. I think every human being on this planet deserves to have their Maslow's needs tended to, and it makes life better for everybody else, because then they just become criminals. Because
Right.
why would you exist inside this system that's not taking care of you? Like that's
Fuck the system, right? Friend, I think that's probably where we should end it. We haven't spoiled every single thing for you. There are a few things we didn't touch on explicitly, but I would recommend this book for sure. I think maybe we should rate it now.
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, who do you think will enjoy it though?
I think, I honestly feel like this is a really good book for young people to read. I think even somebody like myself who is married with kids, and this wasn't my experience in terms of teenage pregnancy, even though technically it was. I mean, I had access to abortion care. I mean, I'm sharing that here. When I was 18, I had an abortion, and I feel like I can't believe, like, I'm super grateful for that being an option for me at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to think that like maybe my child or children or these children now don't have access to that is mind blowing. So
because it's healthcare.
Because it is healthcare. And, you know, thinking about like, if I was in a situation where that wasn't an option for me, could have changed the trajectory of my life. And it's relatable to I don't care where you find yourself in life. I do feel like it's something.
If you hadn't taken me to Planned Parenthood and got me on the pill, life would have been probably very different. Very, very different. So I'm appreciative. I think anybody who wants to challenge their, you know, maybe idea. And you deserve the life you have now. Thank you. Like, and my kids do. Yes. Yeah, you like know, this idea. So take that, Mitch McConnell. Boom, in your face. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely think and Mike Braun, open-minded folks, but also too, if you've been closed-minded, if you want to challenge your own maybe sort of ideas about what teenage pregnancy is, I think it's a good book because it does sort of give you a different lens. Like, it really personalizes them. I think it could be said that this maybe idealizes it or makes it like I don't or what I'll say is rough. It sounds rough, but I think that like a certain reader could look at this and be like, but they're trying to make it idyllic in I don't know, in a way, but I feel like there's not enough stories highlighting, like, right, it's hard, but it's beautiful no matter where you fall on it. And I think that's what I think Leila Mottley did a really good job of highlighting how no matter where you fall in your motherhood journey, no matter if you're a teenage mom or an older mom, it's hard. You need community, and you know, there's nothing wrong with highlighting the love of it. There's nothing wrong with highlighting the positive parts of it, because that is what sustains you, because it is hard. So, I think overall it was a really great book. I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead and rate it. I was just gonna say I cried so hard when Adela gave birth. Aww. And I was driving, it was raining, and I don't know why that scene had me got you together, crying. Really? Yeah, it was, and maybe it was just a sense memory of my own, and the fact that it was just so primal, like she's by a fire and have these women around. It was like that was a very powerful scene. And Leila Mottley, guys, for the record, she's a doula in her spare time. That tracks. And I thought you could kind of, because I was like, man, I don't think she has kids. I haven't heard her say anything like that. Do you want to tell people what a doula is in case they don't know? You should tell them. Oh, a doula is basically just someone, I mean, I had one when I didn't call her a doula, but it's just someone who helps you through the pregnancy and delivery. Basically kind of like a birth coach. Yep. And sometimes it's your mom, sometimes it's your granny. Like for me, it was my godmother, and she was with me in the delivery room and was very like instrumental with my daughter coming out safely.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was I honestly believe if she hadn't been there, my daughter would have hit the floor.
Oh my gosh.
And so yeah,
Gotta have these doulas out here. You have to have those people advocating.
Instantaneous. We could talk forever.
We could definitely talk forever. Yeah, but she's a doula. You feel this in the work because you could tell she researched this from the location to these characters to the mom experience. I mean, she just did a really great job. If I had to rate this book, I'm giving it 5 red trucks, man.
5 out of 5 red trucks.
5 out of 5 red trucks out here.
Ooh, what am I giving it? I'm giving it 5 out of 5 bags of sand. I feel like sand was a huge motif in the book, and it was
it was beautiful.
Chef's kiss. Once again,
So
my
good.
only note, you made me run out of gas.
Man, wow.
It was a little too good.
It was a little too good, Layla. My God.
Yeah. Like pull back, like, give everybody else a chance.
My God. I mean, like this is her second book, man. Like I'm really
looking forward
excited to see where
she's so young.
It's
like,
crazy.
Man, this is amazing.
Yes. Very, very, very good. Highly recommend. And I guess that leaves us with spinning the wheel, friends. So let's spin it.
Woo! Okay, so we're going to be reading Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, written by Harriet Jacobs. So this one's going to be a little bit of a bummer, guys. This book was actually mentioned in The Girls Who Grew Big. She didn't say it by name, but one of the characters referenced the experiences of Harriet Jacobs. And I read the book a long time ago, so I'm excited to read it again. And in my mind, I've always described it as the Black Anne Frank.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, the American Anne Frank. How about that?
I love that.
How about that?
Let's go.
And she also,
Just stop there, friend. Just stop there. Just stop there. My
I can't say enough
God.
good stuff. I'm sorry. It's so
Oh my
good,
God.
but
So excited.
your body belongs to you, which is why there shouldn't be a lot of politics around what medical procedures you have.
Amen. And find your joy, find your community. It's all we've got, you guys. Find ways to show up to support moms the best way that you can. And support yourself, right? Because we're all we got. So until next time, guys, we'll see you. Peace. Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.